Hello ladies and gentlemen, Dusty here with a response video on the Wii U Super Smash Bros. For Wii U 50 Fact Extravaganza video that Nintendo's official channel just released today. So I wanted to go over basically everything said in the video, everything mentioned in the video, and go over my opinions on every little tiny detail inside the video. So before we get started with all the 50 facts, we'll go with the beginning of the video, which says E10. Yes, it is rated E10. Just like the 3DS version. I believe the original Smash Bros, Melee, and Smash Bros Brawl, were all rated T for teen. So that's kind of a different thing, which is actually pretty nice. It makes all the extremely micromanaging parents who are concerned about their kids playing T-rated games, it gives them a little bit of security knowing this game is rated E10. Even though I really don't think that matters. I don't think there's anything that I wouldn't give a 4-year-old Smash Bros. Brawl, Melee, or N64 for. I mean, there's nothing bad in those games, other than maybe some mild cartoon violence. I mean, that's really it. But anyway, I'm gonna get to all the things that matter now. So, the first point they went over was the default character lineup. They're gonna have more than 40 characters at the get-go that you do not have to unlock, which is absolutely fantastic. I don't like having to go through the process of unlocking characters. In fact, on the 3DS version, I just fell off the stage over and over and over again 110 times to unlock all the characters, because I just really don't like to have to deal with unlocking them with special stuff like that. And I think the Subspace Emissary was a good way of doing that. However, since they have nothing like that in either Smash Bros. For the 3DS or Wii U, I'm glad that they had more characters available at the get-go for the Wii U version. However, there are some that will interrupt your play, and they actually do use the word interrupt in the video. Are facing a new challenger, it interrupts you. And all the characters have the same movesets, which is absolutely fantastic. I'm very happy that all the characters are keeping the exact same movesets they had in the 3DS version, so everything transcribes perfectly between both versions. Next point 2, the resolution of the Wii U version. It is going to be full 1920 by 1080. I haven't heard of an official frame rate. I'm hoping it'll be 60 frames per second just because it is a fighting game, but what happens, I guess. It would even play fluidly. How cartoonish it is and how stylistic it is, I'm pretty sure it would even play fluidly in 30 frames per second. However, it would be much better in 60 frames per second. However, what really makes you think is the 3DS version is very playable at 400 by 240 resolution. So imagine how much they're going to do with 1920 by 1080 resolution. And Smash Bros. Is actually a smooth zooming game, so resolutions really do matter in Smash Bros. Because you can actually show more of a plane on the screen at the same time, because there's more resolution, so it can keep the same detail. It's the highest quality, obviously, Smash Bros. Has ever been. The first one in 1920 by 1080, the first one in HD, the second highest probably being, actually, I think both Melee and Brawl worked in progressive scan at 480p, so that would be 640 by 480, which, when you take 640 by 480 compared to 1920 by 1080, they're going to be able to do a lot of stuff with that. So I am very excited to see that. And with 1920 by 1080, they were actually able to fit 5 players on the screen. But then they go to announce that they were able to fit 6 players on the screen. Then point 3, they go to explain that they are going to have 8 players local simultaneously. You can play 8 players. This will be the ultimate party game. I don't think I've ever seen a video game that you can on one console play an 8-player game. I've seen 6-player games. I may be wrong, but this is the only one I remember ever seeing. However, this is exclusive to some stages, some smaller stages. This will not be possible on, and of course, this will not be able to happen online because, of course, it would be very difficult to send 8 players of data to 8 different Wii U's. In fact, that actually goes up exponentially every time you add another player. So, the fourth point to go along with 8 players is they're going to have bigger stages. These stages were too big to put on the 3DS. because of the resolution, of course. 400 by 240 is not enough to hold a stage optimized for 1920 by 1080 resolutions. Except, you know, and by the way, I would not suggest playing Smash Bros. In 640 by 480. If you have an older TV, I would recommend at least upgrading your TV for this, because this game is made to be played in 1920 by 1080. So if you haven't upgraded your TV yet, I would highly suggest doing so. Plus, it's 2014. You should have an HD TV if you're buying a Wii U and a game for it. But anyway, you're going to be able to play 5+ players on these. And it's, of course, they added a bigger classic battlefield. So the classic battlefield we all know and love, they added a bigger version to accommodate 8 players. Another feature they added, which I feel like this is very similar to the one in Smash, except they didn't have it in any of the pre-built stages, and that was Danger Zone. Hit one and you're damaged. All right, you hit this danger zone on a course and you are damaged. You have increased your damage counter, and if you have 100+ damage, you get an instant KO. You're done at 100% damage. So basically, not only will this basically be banned in all competitive play, I'm sure, but it will also bring throwing back into the game, throwing mechanics, because if you're playing against a 100 damage player, being able to control somebody by throwing them will be a big deal. So I am excited because I do like throwing, and I miss how effective it was in Smash Bros. For Melee and the N64. So next feature 6 they announced, is dual plane battling. Yeah, so you'll be able to basically battle in 2 planes, which I can also expect being banned from competitive play. Their example stage for this was Jungle Hijinks, but there's going to be a foreground stage and a background stage, and you can fight on both planes at the same time, and fighters in the far plane fly further, which is one of the many reasons I think it will be banned from competitive play. People in the back will have a disadvantage to people in the front. Especially if they start out in the back or front. That's going to be huge. Next thing is the number of stages. They're designed completely different on the Wii U version than the 3DS. They're taking advantage of the higher textures. They're taking advantage of the higher resolution that the game is capable of playing, and of course your bigger screen that you have on your TV. The 8th feature they announced was the Miiverse stage, which will be coming eventually, and basically you'll be able to post to the Miiverse to correspond with certain characters to cheer on those specific characters, and I'm assuming those are in random people's battles, so you're going to be sending your stuff over to random people's Wii U's, so that's pretty cool. Next is Palutena's Guidance. This is actually something like the Snake's Codex that you saw in Brawl. And it's going to be taking place at Palutena's temple if you're Pit and you hit his down taunt. And it's also very similar to the Star Fox chatter, where they'll basically talk about the character that you're facing, if you're facing one character. I'm not exactly sure how it's going to work specifically this time, but yeah, that is something that exists in the game. The next thing is Metal Face. This is actually a character from Xenoblade Chronicles, if I am correct. It appears at night, so I don't know if it's night on the stage or night as in actual night. In that case, it'll probably be banned in competitive play. But he will add his own special commentary to stuff, and you can KO him, so that will add kind of another dynamic to that stage. Next one is Ridley. Fact 11. Fight. You can actually team up to take down Riley. However, you can actually team up with Riley also. Ridley. Why did I say Riley? Ridley. I'm going to seem like a Metroid hater now. I do really like Metroid. I just mispronounced a name. Okay, guys? That's a quick disclaimer there. But Ridley, you'll be able to attack. If you attack him enough, he will actually team up with you. If he's exposed to something, or she, I can't remember the gender of Ridley. I sound like I know nothing about Metroid at this point, I'm sure. But, yes, if it finds a certain thing or does a certain certain thing, it will turn to Meta Ridley. And if you kill it, you'll earn a point. So, yay. In the stats of battles, you'll earn a point. And there will also be something called the FG2 Grand Unit appearing. Keep in mind, I don't play much Metroid. So then the 12th fact they added was they are making coin battles return, which I think were in Brawl and were in Melee, and I think we're even in 64. So they're basically a casual mode of play where you knock people around and gather points, and whoever gathers the most points wins. And they also have stamina matches back in, which is basically like a traditional fighting game. You die when your percentage actually goes down to 0, which is pretty interesting for people who like to play that way. I've personally always been a fan of the uniqueness of Smash and the fact that it's more of a sumo-based combat where you're trying to knock people out of a ring. So the 14th feature that they talked about was Special Smash. And that's basically just special challenges that they change stuff. You can change the rules, you can make absolutely absurd matches, and they will not affect your records. So they won't affect your regular battle records. They'll just be things that have no recourses of if you do absolutely stupid things with them. Like, for instance, I know it was like permanent Curie metal characters, and I think they were giant and stuff like that, and that's what they showed on the example video. Alright, so 15 is item appearance toggle is back. I don't think they put this in 3DS for some reason, but yeah, you can toggle the appearance of items so that you can make them appear frequently, less frequently, or not at all, and you can choose which items appear however frequently. The next feature that they talked about is My Music. And basically this is, I think, basically the same as the 3DS version, other than you can change the frequency of how frequent songs play on certain stages, just like you could in Brawl and Melee, and it has music from all periods of Nintendo's history, which is pretty grand, in my opinion, being a Nintendo geek. Anyway, 17 is menu music. You can actually change the menu music so that if you want to play the Melee music, like I probably will, unless the Smash Bros. Music for the Wii U is really good, I will probably definitely do that, because I really do like the Melee music. It's kind of nostalgic for me. The 18th thing they announced was there will be more songs. I looked at it just eyeballing it, about 2/3 more songs than in the 3DS version. And almost all of the 3DS songs are actually in the Wii U version, so that's not kind of really a factor of it being a portable game or not. It'll actually have all of those songs inside the Wii U version, which is pretty sweet. And 19 goes with 18, I guess, and that is there will be more composers. And if they released albums with all of this music on it, it would probably actually be more pricey than the game itself, which I actually think is pretty interesting. 20 goes right along with that and talks about CDs. You can collect CDs in battle, and that will add songs to your personal song library. 21, the first feature they talked about, was challenges. You can complete tasks and reveal different spaces to find other tasks. And yeah, I think this is very similar to the 3DS version, Brawl and I don't think it was in Melee, was it? No. But anyway, the 22nd thing that I have to look at is Classic Mode. It's different from the 3DS in the fact that 3DS you could choose the paths you take. However, in the Wii U version, the paths are actually determined by how well you do in the battle. You can also change the difficulty just like you could in the 3DS version. However, this time you can play 2-player co-op, which is pretty cool. And of course you get 2 trophies if you play in 2-player co-op. The trophy from the first player and the trophy from the second player. Then the 23rd feature they talked about was clear movies. They actually made the movies that when you clear all of the stages in the classic mode, they'll have this little clear montage where it has the character doing a bunch of stuff. They brought those back. 24th feature is All-Star Mode, where you have a limited number of healing items version. And instead of the 3DS version, where you have them going in chronological order, you're actually going in inverse chronological order through all of the enemies. So instead of the oldest to the newest characters, as in like Pac-Man being first and Shulk probably being closer to last, you have that in the inverse order. So you'll have to fight the newer characters first before you get to the older characters. And you can actually do this mode in 2-player also. And the 25th thing they mentioned was event mode, which is basically you have your set themed battles and you choose the different battles, but there's also different 2-player battles in it. So it's a lot like Melee and Brawl's event modes. And of course, they did mention that Smash Run is not on Wii U, and instead, event mode is. And also, a thing that is on Wii U, and the 26th point they talked about, was Smash Tour. Basically, you go around a map like Mario Party. That's the first thing that popped in my head that reminded me of that. It's a 4-player game. As you advance, you can collect players. You fight in the final battle in the order of that you acquired the players. You can power up these fighters, and you can grab items and use random events. You can go through checkpoints, and there will be a final showdown at the end, kind of like Smash Run. And your stock is made up of all the fighters you collected. So I think that's pretty cool. I think it'll be pretty fun, and I think it'll be a great thing to play with friends. They also have Target Blast from the 3DS version. However, they also added a second round with a bigger bomb, and it's also much heavier, so you have to account for that in your strategy. The 28th thing on the list is Group Stadium. You can actually do Target Blast with 4 players now, and Home Run with 2 players. And you can also take turns on Home Run Contest with 4 players. So 29th point is Special Orders, which is basically you choose tickets for what battles you're going to do, and of course the harder the battle tickets, the greater the reward. You got to know when to stop and when, you want to stick with the prizes you've gotten. And of course you can choose a crazy order, which is a lot harder, yet you reap a lot more reward. The 30th point is Master Fortress, which in Master Core is a Wii U exclusive, and they've also added a higher intensity mode. The 31st point, which is one of the ones that I am most excited about, is controllers. This game actually has more controllers than any other Nintendo game compatible with it directly. It is compatible with the Wiimote Plus, which I wonder if it is actually compatible with the regular Wiimote. I guess we'll just find out eventually, but it might not be. Of course, the Nunchuck, which you just plug into the Wiimote Plus, I assume. The Classic Controller and the Classic Controller Pro, which I consider as one controller. The Wii U Gamepad. The Pro Controller. The GameCube Controller. And of course, the addition of the 3DS controller. I feel genuinely sorry for you if you actually want to play Smash Bros. Controlling it with the 3DS if you don't have to. And with all these options, you can customize the buttons for the different controllers. 32nd feature they talked about was the GameCube controller adapter. And basically it works by plugging it into the USB ports on your Wii U, and boom, you have GameCube controllers. They didn't really go into how this would work in other games, but hopefully you will be able to use it. They'll release firmware updates for things like Mario Kart, and hopefully you'll be able to play your virtual console games with them. So here's hoping that this isn't just a Smash Bros. Device. 33rd feature was the 3DS controller. You can use your 3DS as a controller. I don't know why you would ever want to do that. Maybe you've just gotten really good at the 3DS version of the game and you want to play like you're playing the 3DS version of the game. However, I will just stick to my actual, real, legitimate controllers, thank you. Mainly GameCube controllers. I'm going to be getting the bundle with the controller adapter and the special edition controller, which I don't know if I brought up. They're going to be making a special edition controller. Hopefully, Nintendo's making it instead of contracting it to someone else to do a crappy job. Or maybe even Hori's doing it. Hopefully Hori's doing it. Hori makes great controllers. I might even get one of the Hori battle pads that Hori is selling now, which is basically a Hori GameCube controller, which if you don't know of the manufacturer Hori, they make the greatest third-party controllers for the N64, the GameCube, and I think even the Wii. So check those out. The 34th feature they talk about is connecting to the 3DS. You can move your custom fighters. In fact, I think you can just copy them over to both of them and still have it on your 3DS version. You can copy over your equipment. That's also included with your fighters, and your costumes and hats are also included in HD, which is kind of cool, I guess. 35 is trophies. The trophies are going to more be home consoles games. They're going to be of more home console games, rather. And they're going to have more trophies than in the 3DS version, which the 3DS version, from what I hear, has a very very large trophy library. I haven't really gone trophy hunting in the 3DS version myself, but from what I hear, a lot of trophies in that game. 36 is Final Smash trophies. You lock these through our All-Star mode. I think you do that through the 3DS version too, don't you? I'm not sure, honestly, but I know it's in Smash Bros. Brawl, Smash Bros. Melee, so, that's cool, I guess. 37 is Trophy Box. You can actually display your trophies by theme, and you can actually complete separate themes. So, like, for instance, they showed off Kirby's and the Wii Fit Trainer. If you get all the Wii Fit Trainer poses, you get a complete theme there, and that's basically every completionist dreams right there. You're going to be playing this game for years. 38th feature they talked about was Photo Studio. Basically, you can take pictures of your trophies, you can make the trophies bigger and smaller, and add special effects and stuff like that to make them look real cool. They showed some really cool examples. 39 is Trophy Rush. And basically, having two players actually makes this easier. It's the best way of collecting trophies from what the video said. You can also play it competitively, and yeah, that's a pretty cool way of earning trophies. Finally, there's a good way of earning trophies that's not a stupid mini-game. I'm very happy about that. Alright, 40's Masterpieces. This is very similar to the Smash Bros. Brawl ideal, except, well, they're basically cut down greatest Nintendo hits that are on the eShop, that are basically eShop demos. They're basically eShop demos that are included with Smash Bros. For the Wii U. These ones actually start quick. If you've ever had to see, or ever had the misfortune of starting one of these on the Wii, Super Smash Bros. Brawl, it sucks. They take a really freaking long time. Some of them have pre-save data where you start at a certain point in the game. Some of them are, you can actually use them as time trials, and, you know, compete against your friends, say, oh, well, I got this far in the time trial here, and, of course, it's directly integrated with the eShop, so if you want to play the whole game, you can get it through the eShop. 41 is Amiibos. Amiibos are something that are kind of interesting. They're basically little Smash Bros. Figures. Well, they're mainly just little Nintendo figures that will be compatible with more games. Like, I know Captain Toad is one of them. They might integrate them with Mario Kart. But yeah, basically they're little figures that you can get for $12.99 US, which is very freaking expensive for a game figure, for me at least. They're also known as figure players or FP players. They start weak at first, but they level up to grow stronger, kind of like Skylanders. You can feed them equipment, which kind of sounds weird, feeding them equipment. But anyway, you can have them team up or fight against each other. They get tougher when you're visiting another person's Wii U, and they can bring you presents. I don't know if that's like Santa Claus. coming into your chimney and bringing you presents, like your amiibo will bring you presents. But in all seriousness, I don't know what they meant by that. The 42nd thing is the internet. The Wii LAN adapter, they made sure to mention, is compatible with the Wii U. So if you need a LAN adapter, if your Wi-Fi connection isn't very stable, or if you want a better connection than Wi-Fi to make sure that your fights are very, very clean and you're not causing all the lag and you have good internet anyway, get the LAN adapter. So you can just plug that into one of your USB ports. And that made me think, if you have the GameCube controller ports plugged in, that's taking up your front two USB ports, and then you have your LAN adapter plugged into one of the USB ports. You're only going to have one USB port left, so I hope you don't use like 2 drives on the back of your Wii U or something like that, or else you're screwed. Alright, so 44 is... you can play with your friends online, I guess. Sorry, my notes were very confusing. Actually, I have written here, Friends Ant Tag, Anyone Mode, Co-op Online, 1 or 2. I really don't take good notes, guys. I'm very sorry if I sound stupid, but yeah, I spelled tourneys wrong, by the way, which brings me to point 45, tourneys! This will take a while to release. It's a feature that will take a while for Nintendo to finish. Which I might as well bring up that topic quick. Nintendo is actually going to be adding things to the game as it comes out. This sucks for people who don't have internet, which I don't know anyone with a Wii U who doesn't have internet, but still, if anybody doesn't have internet, this sucks for you because you won't be able to get the new features as they come around, and you won't be able to play online and stuff like that. But, yeah, basically you can build your own tourneys and build your own competitions to fight against random people online or friends. 46th feature they mentioned was tournaments. They added tournaments back. I think there's a maximum of 64 players that can fight each other for supreme dominance in the world or whatnot. So the 47th feature they added was the gamepad. They went into in-depth on how the gamepad works with the game, and of course it can display everything on the TV just like most Wii U games. Or you can set it to just display the amount of damage. And you can set it up next to your TV, and instead of having people see it on your TV, from what I gather, they can see it on the Wii U gamepad. So that's pretty cool. The 48th feature they mentioned was Paint, which, with the stylus on the Wii U gamepad, you can decorate photos, and after an update that will release shortly after the game, you will be able to send photos to people online. 49th feature is voice chat. This is very Mario Kart 8-esque. Basically, you can use your microphone, but it's disabled while real gameplay is occurring. So if you're in a battle, you cannot use this, but if you're in like the menus and whatnot, you can. I would highly suggest actually going over like a Skype call or a phone call if you actually know these people and doing it that way, because really, it really does get annoying trying to just play the game and then not interact with people until the end of the game. So that's my personal experiences, and that's what I do. But hey, you do whatever you want. I think it's cool that they added it anyway. And the reason they added it was they didn't want it to interfere with the gameplay or interfere with the down and up speeds and whatnot. But realistically, they could have just made that an option that you could toggle on or off to help your connection, but maybe they had their reasons not to do that. So feature 50 was Stage Builder. This is a lot like Brawl. You can design stages, except you can design them with the stylus, which you couldn't do in Brawl because Brawl didn't have a stylus. You can make themes and tracks, and you can use any song in the custom stage, which was a lot like Brawl. And then the 51st feature, yes, there was more than 50, there was actually like 54, is sharing. You can share photos, Mii Fighters, costumes, and stages online, which is pretty cool. There's also some other stuff, like sharing stuff with the 3DS, and of course they go on to mention there's more content in Smash Bros. Never before! And they show this pretty cute Koopaling cutscene where basically Baby Bowser's fighting against Mario and his little machine, and they're with a bunch of Nintendo characters, and I think Pac-Man, Mega Man were both there. Anyway, then all the Koopalings show up, and then they show them all fighting at the same time, which I think there's 7 Koopalings and Bowser Jr., which is 8 players. That was pretty cool. just to see. So the 50-second feature they added was movies. They had the all blank joins the battle movies added to the game, so you can watch them in glorious HD, as the announcer would say. So that's pretty cool. Just something they added to the game. Feature 53 was soundtracks. If you buy both the Smash Bros. For the 3DS and Smash Bros. For the Wii U and register them with Club Nintendo, you can get a 2-disc set. The red disc being 3DS songs and the blue disc being the Wii U songs. And to contradict any rumors that were going on where you would have to choose one of the discs, it is a 2-disc set, so you do get both of the discs. However, this promotion is going on a limited time after the game's release. I think it's sometime mid-January that you have to do this before, so I suggest doing it as fast as possible because Club Nintendo takes like 6 to 12 months to ship their crap anyway, so I would suggest doing it as quick as possible. And the 54th and last feature they talked about was the Mew DLC. If you buy both Smash and Wii U, not only will you be able to receive that awesome soundtrack I'm very excited for, but you will also be able to get Mewtwo. And I said Mew, didn't I? I'm sorry, guys. It's Mewtwo that you will be able to get. However, he is exclusive if you have to have bought Smash for both the 3DS and Wii U. So I could see him being banned in tournaments, and of course, I don't know how this is going to work for collectors in the future. This is all kind of sucky, honestly, in my opinion. I think they just should have included him in the game. However, it will take them a very long time to develop him because he's still in development. So he won't be coming around until spring of 2015, which honestly I would have thought they would tell us that a little bit closer to the date he would show up to give people an incentive of buying the game later other than giving them all at once. But anyway, that's just my personal look at it. And the game's going to release on November 21st. I'm very excited. I'm going to be pre-ordering it as soon as possible. In fact, tomorrow I'm going to be pre-ordering the bundle with the GameCube controller and the GameCube adapter and the game, of course. And I am really excited for it. Please let me know how you feel about it in the comments. I'm very surprised you made it this far in the video because this is as freaking long as the regular video. So I do suggest watching that too. But that was just my outtake and outlook on this. I do really hope you enjoyed this video. The video from this... I don't even know what video footage I'm going to attach to this. I actually just recycle my Let's Play footage. So go check out my Let's Plays. They're a pretty fun time. So thank you for watching. I really enjoyed talking to you quick. This took me a very long time to write all the notes up for, no matter how crappy my notes were. I really do thank you for watching because it does mean a lot to me. If you do want to like this video and help it spread around a little bit, go ahead and like. This is a really exciting time for me. Smash Bros. Is about to release soon. I mean, that is pretty big. Yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I will see y'all next time. Take it easy.